Till it all add up, till it all add up. Pile up, pile up, pile up.
Pasha Pyro.
Till it all add up, till it all add up, till it all add up. Till it all add up.
Till it all add up, right?
Pile up, pile up, pile up.
All right, today we got some interesting stuff. It's always some interesting stuff going on. You see, first of all, I'd like to thank the very observant person that put me on to a few days ago, Bill Gates and the farmland, right? And I said right after I got it, the information and reviewed it, I was like, I need to share this with you all. But I took my time with it. And the more I thought about it, the more it reminded me of something I said years ago. Right? Stick with the YNet7. Go ahead and subscribe. Like this video. Share. Etc. 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 You know, it helps the channel, helps get this information out. They would rather help get this information out. All right? This is the information I think a lot of people would benefit from hearing. So, and knowing. And the gift and the curse is you put this information out, and because it's not painful or because it's not negative, you know what I mean, it doesn't get the same. But those that it's for is paying attention. And that, you know, we just need the critical mass. But let's go back to 2016, because those that have been rocking with me for a while know that pretty much everything I'm telling you guys, it's normally, you know, ahead of time. The songs, the music, the everything. If you go back and play the songs and then check out what happened in the world, I'm just saying. So let's take a look at this 2016. Let's hop in the time machine and go back to 2016 and check this out real quick.
Pasha Pyro. Yo, just having a little fun with y'all right now.
It's also interesting to see how far, you know, the channel has come. This actually is on the Pasha Pyro channel on YouTube before YNet7 was even a thing. So remember, whenever you start something, you gotta build it. You know what I'm saying? And people are building different things. People are building up. People are building down. Some people are helping to build your own destruction, and they looking at you like, why you not partaking? And they don't understand it. To you, you see the destruction, and you're trying to build production, and meanwhile they're trying to sabotage. You know what I'm saying? But whenever you start something, know that you starting something, and don't defeat yourself by feeling like you're not where you want to be. Just keep working towards it. All right, let's get back to the video. It's about 3 minutes and change, and then we'll get into I'll start to tie it all together for you. How this, well, you'll see. It's so much fun.
Pasha Pyro. Yo, just having a little fun with y'all right now, real quick. I mean, I got a weird sense of humor, but you know, check it's some light at the end of every tunnel, right? So check this out, man. I know a lot of y'all probably already seen it, that like Bayer aspirin, you know, they try and buy Monsanto for like $66 billion, right? That's like a lot of bread and shit. You know what I'm saying? But look, check it out. They try to get all the money. I mean, they try and get all the papers. Like, they ain't gonna miss a dime if that goes through. They gonna get it all. I mean, they gonna hit y'all with everybody with the copay at the grocery store. I mean, Blue Cross Blue Shield gonna be billing you to go to the movies. I'm just saying, they gonna be hitting us with like, you gonna be at the movie theater ordering Percocet popcorn with extra butter. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gonna be, and some napkins, you know what I'm saying? Like, how y'all gonna be in a movie like that? You know, I'll be like the new grandma's gonna be talking about, they got the codeine collard greens fresh from the garden, you know what I'm saying? Like, they growing them out back, and you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna get wild. It's gonna be wild. Blue Cross Blue Shield gonna get great, you know what I mean? Like, whoever. They gonna get all the money. Do y'all understand what this be? Like, y'all gotta look at this. Y'all gotta look at this deal. Like, they gonna have methadone, mango trees. You know what I mean? Yo, wait. You gonna be ordering Oxycontin orange juice at IHOP with your pancake stacks. You know what I'm saying? Yo, hers potato chips, hers PCP potato chips. Out the vending machine, sour cream and onion. You know what I mean? Whoa. It's no problem, though. It's no problem. They got the Ritalin. They already had a Ritalin rice-a-broni. They got that Ritalin rice growing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold up.
All right, so you get the point. So that was back in 2016, right? And you tell people that stuff, and I mean, they're more interested in what LeBron's doing today. You know what I'm saying? But this is what affects their family, right? So let's go to now, flash forward to today. Actually, this was June 9th, 2021. But let's fast forward to 5 years later. Information coming from someone else and on a much bigger platform, and let's hear what they have to say today, and I'll show you how it's kind of interesting, and there's a weird connection to it too. Follow this.
Business magnate, software developer, philanthropist, nation's largest farmland owner. Yeah, you heard that right. Gates owns nearly 270,000 acres of farmland in the U.S. Who knew?
Courtesy of
NBC News investigative tech reporter April Glazer joining me now. April, you're reporting Bill Gates started buying land in 2013 through a web of limited liability shell companies across the country. Tell us what he's got.
I mean, there is a lot of land, and it's over about 18 different states, right? So we're talking about 70,000 acres in North Louisiana, around the Delta region, 14,000 acres in Florida, over 40,000 acres in Arkansas, over 14,000 acres in Washington. So it really just spans the country, and it is a lot of land. Now, the Land Report, a website that really looks at this, was the ones that found that he owned the most amount of land, of farmland in the country, but then we went and verified and found out exactly what he's growing there.
Yeah, so let's talk about what are we eating? What is he growing on Gates farmland?
Right, and I should clarify, he's not actually the one doing the farming. He's more like a landlord, right? So he acquired all this land, and then other companies are doing the farming on it. And a lot of this is kind of big ag, right? So in Florida, we've got carrots. In Georgia, there are Vidalia onions. Now, he's actually sold the Vidalia onion farms to another farmer in Georgia, but he did have those for some time. In Louisiana, we're looking at soybeans, rice, cotton, soybeans in Nebraska. And then what's, I think, most interesting is that in Washington state, in the southern border, right above Oregon, he has a 14,500 acre plot of land that is growing the potatoes that turns into French fries for McDonald's. So that's something we really didn't expect, especially because he's so committed to public health.
Gates has said that his farming investments, April, have nothing to do with his broader plans to save
because he's so committed with public health.
The climate. So what's going on here? Why is he buying up all this farmland?
Well, he's not the only one doing it. He actually is using the farmland as an investment vehicle. And the idea here is that, since we're really not ever going to make any more land, it's a pretty good investment, right? And so when the stock market is going down or the rest of the economy is on a roller coaster, land generally doesn't depreciate. So it's a pretty safe place to park your money. Other large financial firms have really started to encourage investors to put their money into farmland. And yeah, he's not using it as part of his broader climate goals. The foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, confirmed that their agricultural work does not focus in the United States. You know, he is, however, or rather not him, but his investment firm Cascade is a partner with a group that does work on sustainable agriculture here in the United States, but they didn't clarify exactly what's going on those pieces of land, but that all of his acreage is enrolled in that sustainable agriculture program. Local farmers I spoke to in South Georgia and North Florida said that he's doing the same thing that Big Ag did before he got there, which is using a lot of fertilizer that leaches into the rivers, causes big algae blooms, and actually is very ruinous for the habitats of manatees and fish.
In addition to that, you're writing that non-farmer investments in farmlands, like what we're seeing here with Bill Gates, could be bad for young farmers. Why? What's going on with them specifically?
Right. And so that's just to be clear, I can't say it enough. Bill Gates isn't the one in overalls. He's not the one on the tractor doing the farming. Right. He's the landlord here. And so what for young...
This part is interesting too. So from a financial standpoint and generational. So listen to this.
Young farmers, for people who really want to break into this, it's very, very hard to buy land already because there is a limited amount of farmland. Like I said, they're not making any more of it. So when they're going up against these billionaire investors and people who are looking at farmland as an asset class, it becomes really hard for them. I mean, who can compete with the likes of Bill Gates, right? And so more and more we're seeing farmers turn into renters, and less we're seeing people who own their land actually doing the farming on it. And that is a trend that might increase because about 40% of farmland in the U.S. is owned by people who are 65 and older, which means that there's a pending large transfer of land, and that could be gobbled up by an investor class, or it could be sold to young farmers. But, you know, usually people go for the highest price.
They go for the highest price. That's what's messing everything up in the world. It's all about the fake currency. All right, so listen here. Long story short, if you haven't, just to bring us up to speed. So I made a video back in 2016 talking about how you were going to have to asking you guys to consider the possibility of what it would be like if you were getting prescriptions for the food you eat every day, like popcorn and anything else you could think of. Now you see carrots, onions, French fries at McDonald's, you know. Now, the cool thing I ain't gonna say cool like as in good, but the interesting thing is that this is the same person that has conversation connecting them to the vaccines, which now has conversation about their legitimacy among a broader audience than, you know, was talking about it a year, two ago in 2019, actually, maybe, when they actually had the patent for it already. You know, they were already talking about it. That group, you know what I mean? Those late to the party, you know, it's something new for them, but it's not that it's too late. Okay, so a lot of the people that are just now, you know, maybe speaking heavily about this or concerned about it were the ones making fun of those that was trying to tell you back in 2016. So think about what you relate to today in 2021, and maybe this shift can happen a little faster because you'll understand that it's really you that's funny. You know what I mean? It's really you that's adding to the destruction. And the people that are actually trying to make the moves, you know, maybe they're not, whatever. So here's the thing. Like I said, the character in the story, right, has ties, true or false, to vaccines, which has ties to questionable origins and intent, right? Now, going back to that Bayer and Monsanto deal, right? We got to look at that real quick because it actually was a thing, all right? So in September 2016, German chemical company Bayer announced its intent to acquire Monsanto for $66 billion, as we discussed in the video I showed you, all cash, after gaining U.S. and EU regulatory approval. The sale was completed on June 7th, 2018, quietly 2 years later, you know? Enough time for it to be under the rug. So the name Monsanto was no longer used, but Monsanto's previous product brand names were maintained. So I'm looking at it like this on the real. Do you really think you buying seeds today that are unabridged, that haven't been modified, tainted, selected for you? Right? Because you guys seen the picture of how like 5 companies really control like 90% of the food coming through the country and stuff, right? They produced it or what have you. Let me see here. Companies. Oh yeah, everything really. All right, let's do this. Let me show you real quick here. You see this picture above me? I mean, it's an easy Google search for you. You know, I can't tell you what to do with your time, but every moment is an investment. So you gotta look at what you investing in around you. You know what I mean? Take a look at your Facebook or your Instagram and just what's your last 5 or 10 posts. That's what you invest in your life in. You know what I'm saying? 5 companies that own everything. So, you know, it's kind of the gist of it all. These companies, all this, if you go and Google this at your own time, you'll see like tons of names that you're familiar with, and you won't realize they're all owned by like the same handful of companies, which is owned by the same handful of people, which all know each other and talk together and decide what they're going to do next year with you. Right? So now, why do you bring that up, Asha? Because going back to this Bayer and Monsanto, right? Here's something that's interesting. I found very interesting, and I thought maybe you guys would like to know. So, Bill Gates, at one point, owned 500,000 shares of Monsanto, and let's not act like he doesn't know the people that own Bayer Pharmaceutical, especially with him being Mr. Health. All right. So Bill Gates is primarily known as a multi-billionaire who created Microsoft, the company behind. I was looking for a date on this. I guess we'll see. But the company behind most popular computer operating systems known as Windows, with a massive wealth. He has retired from leading Microsoft and now instead focuses his money and time on furthering genetically modified technology, geoengineering, experimental vaccinations, and preaching about how Monsanto is the answer to world hunger. Now, note, he didn't just say hunger in the United States. Or at least the article didn't just say he said hunger in the United States, but world hunger. So if you guys are really sitting there thinking about, oh, this is the guy that was talking about population control, and now he's got a vaccine, and now he's got farmland, and he used to own a 500,000 shares of Monsanto, which Bayer has bought, which is a drug company, but also Bayer also makes like pesticides and stuff like that too. You see what I'm saying? So at the weird tippy top, like this is like a weird connection. I don't know what to make of it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Right? But now, while you were fighting each other and worried about what sneaks this person had and talking about this and that, you know, this guy owns pumping out all your food, or who knows, him and whoever else, right? But if you paid attention to that report from NBC, it gave some really profound information if you paid attention to it, saying that a lot of the big farms are owned by people 65 and up. So chances are they're not going to be here 25, 30 years from now. You know what I mean? Like what people talk about, how much time you spend, you know, with the family, but then they, you know, what are you leaving for the family, for the next generation? You see what I'm saying? So things like this is what you guys need to be considering, because by the time this sets the stage for, by the time your next generation is your age, everything could easily be chemically induced, and you know, either wouldn't know about it because they ain't teaching that on in school, or what have you. Wouldn't be a choice, right? And again, I'm just saying, I don't really trust the seeds that you buy in the stores either, because they coming from the same group of people that own everything else. I mean, that's the problem with emotional attachments. You know what I'm saying? Everybody pick a variable to feel good about, but it's really part of the same equation. So when you look at the equation, you see the whole picture. All right? So, but the genetically modifying technology, like, that doesn't just mean plant. So what if you gotta look at this? Genetically modifying technology and experimental vaccinations, and the next step is Monsanto is the answer to world hunger. I mean, you could read through this article if you like. Right? So he asked Bill Gates why, in a unique opportunity to ask Bill Gates himself why he purchased 500,000 shares of Monsanto behind the scenes, per their description, expelled into the news thanks to tax information, and teamed up with Cargill to expand GMOs worldwide. Myself and several others asked him ourselves. Yesterday, Gates opened himself up to questions from online users via the social sharing site Reddit, in which he posted an open interview of sorts known as an Ask Me Anything post. This is essentially an invitation for questions that the subject will answer via text. While I had a large number of questions for Gates, such as if he actually eats GMOs himself, I simply asked him, why did you buy the stocks? And then they want you to go to the society to learn more. All right. So what do you guys think? Your fries, you know what I mean? They're got you focused on the vaccine and the needle. Could it be you're already eating it? what other drugs, you know, potentially could be in your food supply. Not to say anybody purposely put them there. Have you ever checked the study done on your local water supply and see how much drugs are actually in your tap water? If you haven't done that already, check that out. And this is where we're going to end. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Pasha Paro, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay.